overall for 2025, looking forward, we're very encouraged by the commercial potential for the company now. There's no other technology solution out there which is affordable, scalable, and so ready to deploy as our emulsion fuels and biofuels.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Quadrise CEO Jason Miles. Jason, very good to speak with you today. You've had lots of news out recently. Could you start by telling us about the trial agreement with Sparkle Power in Panama, which you announced earlier this week?
Sure, Stephen. It's a pleasure to be back after a little bit of time. It's quite a bit to cover today. So just to explain, our industry partnerships are really focused on stimulating demand and supply for our products, ideally nearby major marine bunker fuel hubs. Sparkle is a power producer in Panama. Today, they use high sulfur fuel to generate up to 50 megawatts of electricity for the Panama power grid. And they do so using manned four-stroke diesel engines. So for Quadrise, this latest agreement provides us with a potential client located close to the Panama Canal, which is a major bunkering hub. But also Sparkle could also serve as a reference plant for fuel oil power facilities that are located in Central and South America.
So are Sparkle Power interested in Quadrise technology and fuels?
Their main interest is with our MSAR emulsion product, which will reduce or should reduce their fuel costs versus fuel oil and improve their competitive position. But they're also interested in reducing emissions of their greenhouse gases and also NOx and particulates to the benefit of the environment in Panama. We're supplying our technology to produce the fuels for this trial. And with an eye to a cleaner future, Sparkle are also investigating the use of biofuels. Hence the planned trial of BioMSAR, where once we've completed the MSAR trial, is also on the schedule. The agreement covers three main phases, just to explain to listeners. Proof of concept trials will start with MSAR and BioMSAR over the first few days. And then there's planned to be an emissions test of MSAR operation over a longer period of up to a week on one of the engines. And then finally, at the end of that, we'll prepare a joint report on the technical and economic feasibility of commercial rollout to the 50 megawatt facility. So for Quadrise, this is important. Not only is it our first trial in Panama, but it's also the first time we've used our fuels on an MAN diesel four-stroke engine, which will be interesting to compare against our prior successful tests on Wärtsilä type engines in the region.
Jason, you mentioned the company's strategy regarding creating supply and demand around marine hubs. This is also linked to the recent agreement with two industry majors, MSC and Cargill, isn't it?
It is indeed, Stephen. Yeah, the collaboration between MSC and Cargill is an incredible opportunity for Quadrise. Perhaps I can explain why and what our plans are, and I guess how that fits in with a wider commercial opportunity for us as well. I mean, firstly, MSC has the largest container shipping fleet in the world, as well as a large number of cruise ships. So as a result, they consume around 10 million tons a year of marine fuels, which costs them over $5 billion a year. And as well as expanding their fleet of over 800 vessels, MSC are investing millions per vessel on improving the energy efficiency and lowering emissions. So Quadrise Technology and Fuels provides them with a solution to both decarbonize their fleet as well as reduce their energy costs. And this comes at a time which is crucial for the industry as more restrictive regulations come in from the EU and the IMO governing the marine sector and the emissions thereof, which is driving really the transition to a net zero carbon emissions by 2050 or earlier. Cargill, the other partner in this enterprise's collaboration, is a leading multinational food company. But they're also one of the largest biofuel suppliers in the world too. They're a major buyer of marine fuels on their own fleet, which comprises over 600 vessels. And they're also driving change in the marine sector by offering new biofuel solutions and trialing new technology to decarbonize their marine fleet. We've been in discussions for some time now with MSC and Cargill about the vessel trial in question on BioMSAR. The BioMSAR product we're supplying them is an equivalent to a B30 biofuel, which is sold in Europe and used in Europe increasingly by the marine sector today. And to carry out the commercial trial, we also need a terminal with access to Dutch waters. So basically, the presence of in Dutch waters is important because sustainable marine fuels are eligible for price subsidies there today. Hence, early in the year, we signed an agreement with MAC2 in Antwerp and Cargill to prepare for this.
So what does the commercial vessel trial of Quadrise fuel entail, Jason?
Yeah, it's certainly not a small endeavour. For starters, it requires a setup of our proprietary emulsion production technology at the MAC2 terminal, and that will produce fuel batches of around 1,000 tonnes each. 1,000 tonnes is quite a big amount. That's enough fuel to fill my local leisure centre pool, which is sort of two-thirds Olympic size. In this case, our fuels will be powering a 50,000-tonne MSC container ship on its regular journey. We'll also start with proof of concept tests to get baseline data on MSAR and BioMSAR in active commercial operation. And then BioMSAR will be used on a regular basis on the MSC Leandra over an extended period of time of approximately 6 to 8 months, with the aim of securing then a letter of no objection from the engine manufacturer upon success. The MSC Leandra, just to note, is the same vessel that Quadrise was tested MSAR on before for over 7 months. The ship was previously badged as Seago Istanbul, and as a result of that, we obtained an interim letter of no objection from on MSAR. So we're very, very confident the trials this time on BioMSAR will be successful and provide all of the technical data and approvals that are needed to accelerate commercial supply to the marine sector.
I mean, how big is the commercial opportunity for Quadrise fuels in the marine sector, Jason?
Well, with these Wärtsilä approvals and client endorsements, a material commercial opportunity opens up for us, frankly, Stephen. So we're already in discussion on what those commercial times would look like with some suppliers. There are about 20 vessels in MSC's fleet which use the same engine type as the Leandra 5, and more than 1,000 vessels globally. And this equates to some 10 million tonnes a year of marine fuel equivalent annually. Accounting for similar engine types from other manufacturers, Quadrise estimate that some 12,000 vessels are in scope for conversion to our fuels, which is over 10% of the world's fleet by number. That sounds relatively small, but actually, because these vessels are larger, this actually equates to 40% of global bunker demand, or approximately 100 million tonnes per annum of marine fuels. So all in all, the opportunity is huge. Collaboration, of course, is key in us delivering this opportunity to decarbonise the sector. And so, alongside our significant industry partners that I've mentioned, we're also expanding our network of channel partners. And last month, we announced a collaboration with Orr Marine in Finland, who've been servicing the marine industry with fuel systems and expertise for over 50 years. And partners such as Orr Marine will be critical in Quadrise meeting the anticipated demand for our products next year. Whilst alternative fuels such as LNG, methanol, or ammonia are also available to the marine sector, they also involve large investments in new infrastructure, vessels and crew training to really maintain safe and reliable operations. And additionally, the punitive costs to supply these green versions of these fuels economically makes them quite unattractive today to the cost-sensitive maritime sector, which really needs to service their existing fleets for decades to come. And that's why biofuels are so important.
Jason, with your latest sustainability report recently published in conjunction with new results from testing BioMSAR made from 100% sustainable biofuels, you look to be enhancing your ESG credentials for clients, partners, and also investors. Is that fair to summarize?
Yeah, we certainly think so. Our 2024 sustainability report is the most comprehensive to date, really highlighting our goal to decarbonise energy-intensive applications through the development and commercialisation of our fuels. Our technologies really enable significant reductions in greenhouse gas and toxic emissions, which is really key for the sectors such as maritime, industrials, and power generation. And really, this report highlights our progress in commercially scaling these technologies, demonstrating not just environmental responsibility on our side, but also providing a clear pathway for industry-wide adoption of lower carbon fuels without excessive costs. We're very excited, really, about the progress we've made in expanding these opportunities with BioMSAR and supplying a net zero version containing 100% biofuels. And just to recap, our standard version of BioMSAR contains about 40% glycerin today, which is the waste glycerin coming as a waste product from biodiesel fatty acid production. So this glycerin today sort of displaces some of the hydrocarbon and water used in conventional MSAR. And in the past few years, we've been investigating the use and performance of alternative biogenic components in blending bio-MSAR. So we can achieve this through the use of other byproducts and waste streams that are cheaper, generally biomass derived. So this really aligns with our stated vision of launching a B100 version of the product, which only contains biogenic substances and a little bit of water, and is called, it has zero hydrocarbons, hence why it's called BioMSAR Zero. And really, we're looking to do that well in advance of 2030. And the latest results from our independent testing on our test engine are really truly groundbreaking, frankly. Firstly, across the board with all our biofuels, we've consistently achieved higher efficiency than diesel, with lower fuel consumption and lower CO2 emissions as a result. We also have cleaner exhaust emissions, with lower NOx, CO, and visible soot. And now, the latest test results that we published recently in the last month have also shown that we now have a 100% biofuel solution, very close to commercial rollout. So this really opens developments and sort of new doors to knock on with regards to partnerships and a growth opportunity for Quadrise, frankly. And we publish some of that information in our latest sustainability report and on the website. So I encourage people to take a look.
Well, Jason, it sounds as though Quadrise has finished 2024 on a high note, and that's certainly reflected in your share price. Anything we've missed, and what's your outlook for news in early 2025?
Yeah, you're right to highlight a long overdue uplift in the value of Quadrise, following our very well attended AGM just over a month ago. It's always great to see shareholders face to face. We have 3 other projects that we hope to update shareholders on early in the new year. In Morocco, we're still waiting for the client's go-ahead, OCP, to commence the trial. And that's really linked to their planned production schedule over the next few months. In Southeast Asia, we're in discussions with a refinery and their owner regarding a demonstration trial of our technology and a subsequent commercial project, as well as the longer-term potential for marine supply to the region, which is really the reason we're there, and another marine hub in Singapore, which is the world's largest. And last but not least, we have our US project in Utah with Valcor, from where I've recently returned following a visit to the site and their new offices and lab in Salt Lake City, which is great to see. So those projects we expect to give a pretty comprehensive update on in the new year. But delivery, frankly, of the marine trial at Mach 2 for MSC and Cargill is significant. So Q1 next year will provide further news of project progress there, and sort of closure of the associated bilateral agreements to start the trial in Antwerp towards the end of Q1. We also have to be ready to deliver the trials in Panama and Morocco during the same period once timetables are agreed. And we're really, overall for 2025, looking forward, we're very encouraged by the commercial potential for the company now. There's no other technology solution out there which is affordable, scalable, and so ready to deploy as our emulsion fuels and biofuels. So yeah, in summary, we're a small company, but with a big potential to lower emissions economically and to scale up delivery. We are linking up with other players, as you've seen this year, who have the same mission. So the timing for us, frankly, is now. We're looking forward to a very busy Christmas and exciting 2025. So in closure, we'd like to wish our shareholders and partners the best in health and happiness over the holiday season.
Looks like we'll be having lots more conversations in the new year, Jason. I hope you have a very good festive period too.
Thank you.
That's Quadrise CEO Jason Miles.